it's Maureen, and I'm going to talk to you today about my hip surgery and ambulation. So I went to see the physical therapist before I had the procedure to practice ambulation, so I'm kind of telling you my interpretation of her instructions. So basically, I knew I was going to be at 1.25% of normal, meaning that I could bear full weight on this leg, but I needed to go down to about 25% on this leg. So how did we know what to do? So she said, go ahead and weigh yourself. I'm between 150 and 160. You divide that in half, that's 80. And half, once again, is 40. So about 40 pounds on the right leg. So then I stood on a scale and stood next to a scale and just put this leg onto the scale and saw where 40 pounds of weight was. Well, lo and behold, that is essentially just the dead weight of the leg without any pressure down on the leg. So I was like blown away with how little that was. But there I came home knowing I'd have 1.25%, and the rest had to be on my hands. So I got a walker and the crutches, and I practiced with both. With the walker, the game plan was to put the healing leg forward and then bear weight on the hands at the same time as I brought the solid leg forward. So practicing like this, and my steps were very small to begin with. They're a little better now because I'm a week out, but what I found was that in fact I was getting a lot of pressure on my carpal tunnel area, having numbness in the hands and tingling up the arm, etc. I've had carpal tunnel issues before, so it didn't really surprise me because I knew I couldn't get the weight to be more at the base of the thumb and the first two fingers. I tried to squeeze a little harder, that helped some, but by the third day or so, I was really having issues with my wrists, as well as I started having this knee pain. And I found out that part of the reason for the knee pain was I was kind of walking with the foot turned in and more on the toe, like I was trying to go light on this foot, and therefore I do this. But in fact, by doing that, I was not putting the full foot down, and I started having issues with the quad and the knee area. So very important to lay the full foot down and come all the way through, bear the weight, balancing into the hands, bringing the full weighted leg coming forward. So what I ended up doing then at that point when I started having issues with my hands is I determined, okay, time to move forward into the crutches. So you'll notice that I went and switched over to the crutches. So now I'm going to show you how I did with the crutches, and it did improve things a little bit, but this blocking is still very similar. When you get to the walker though, and you let go of it, it doesn't fall down. Where with the crutches it does. Notice you put your hands down before you stand up or before you get up to go. So now I'm going to show you the crutches. And the crutches situation is you're going to put your hands on it, push off here, and then place them under your arms. And again, you put the crutches forward along with the healing leg, bearing the weight a little bit into the hands. What I found with the crutch is that I could squeeze a little bit more into the base of the hands instead of into the carpal tunnel area. So again, very similar, walking in this fashion. And when you're ready to pivot, pivot with the foot and the crutches at the same time. And that's pretty much how I've gotten, again, making sure to roll the full foot so that knee ended up hurting a lot less once I started using the full flat foot. I don't know why. I had the instinct to walk just on the ball of the foot, like I was putting less weight on it, but that was my instinct initially. Okay, that's all I have to say about my modified weight bearing. When I first talked to the doctor about it, he said, I asked him, oh, you mean I've got to walk with a limp? He said, no, we don't call it a limp. It's a modified weight bearing. So there's my modified weight bearing. And hopefully tomorrow I get to bear more weight on that healing leg. Talk to you later.